Now we've identified our cut line in Adobe Illustrator or CorelDRAW. Let's jump into RasterLink and let's set the job up in RasterLink. Now you can see I'm faking it here, right? I got RasterLink open and I'm faking it here. I don't have a printer connected because there's no status and there's no ink detected. You absolutely want to have your printer turned on at this point and connected to RasterLink. That will give you your media width. That is key crucial. So again, from introduction to RasterLink, we can resize these windows. And what I'm going to do is just manually input my material to 53.25 inches. Now let's get the job into RasterLink. You can either drag and drop it from a folder into this window here, into the center window. This time I'm going to select File and Open. And I'm going to select my Print and Cut Whole Image 1. And from our favorites, I'm going to set the quality to 6x6. What's really important when you're printing a job in RasterLink, you're going to really look at three things. And the first one is quality, print quality. What resolution do you want to print it at? And then print job layout. And then the third thing is finally send the job to the printer. So here's our print and cut job. We know the quality is 600 by 600 because we set it as a favorite right here. So let's go to job layout or general print settings. And that's that green icon over here, general print settings. And this right down here, this is scan direction and this is feed direction. The lower right hand corner is when you're facing the printer. So let's say we want to do 24, 25 copies of this. And it's important that we do it in this order. We're going to select Arrange to Center. Now, if you would like to resize your job, you can do up here. You can see our job is 6.2 inches wide by 8.2 inches high, or feed. Now, the order that you do this is important because it changes based on the total graphic size. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in 24 copies. Selecting tab or pressing the tab key will take that setting in and move you to the next field. And you can see all the copies that we have here. Now we want to use a crop mark, and I use type 1 crop mark, so we can select that. Now, the way this job is set up is every single graphic or every single image has a set of crop marks, and we don't want to send it. That's going to take too long. So down here where it says layout, I'm going to select whole for register marks. So that's going to treat this whole graphic as one unit. The next thing I'm going to do is select intermediate registration marks. And that's just going to add a registration mark either in the scan direction this way or the feed direction this way. And that button, that's going to control the direction that you put your intermediate crop mark. Now, if you have a long job that you're trying to print and cut, you're going to select the crop marks in the feed direction. Now, the size of the crop mark is very important, and it says here, my mark size, use recommended crop mark size of 0.59 inches. So we change the recommended crop mark size. The next thing we want to do is we need to put a little gap in between the prints. Because if you try to do a perf cut here and here, that is going to just make a mess. So we really want to have just a small gap in between our prints. So I'm going to set the gap to 0.2, let's say. 0.2 on the scan and 0.2 on the feed. Okay, we have these three. We have all this wasted space, so I'm going to eliminate these three instead of adding four more. It's kind of whatever you want to do. So let's say there's 21 copies, and tab takes you to the next field. This is perfect. And we want to make sure here, see where it says feed? We want to feed it forward a little bit. Where it says feed, we want to feed it forward a little bit just to ensure that our crop marks are not too close to the bottom and they're not too close to the right or left hand sides. we need a little gap in here. If your crop mark is too far over to the right or the left, you're going to get that dastardly C36 error. Okay, so our job visually is set up. What you see is what you get, but we're not ready yet. Remember, we set different pressures and we want different cut scenarios for this. We have a kiss cut line and a perf cut line. So up here is the cut edit tab. Cut edit tab right there. We're going to select that cut edit tab. And so here's the cut contour lines that we set up in Illustrator or Corel. So the kiss cut we want to do to our setting on the printer of cut 1. So we're going to set up cut 1 on our printer to kiss cut. This cut contour line, cut 2 perf, we're going to set this up on our printer as cut 2 setting. It's the pressure setting, right? The tool speed and the H length and the C length we're going to set on cut 2, so we have to define it here. And on cut contour 3 perf, we're just going to send this to the tool 2, the cut 2 setting. So basically this is linking your pressure settings on your printer cutter with what you defined in your graphic. So your pre-press guy defines this line as cut contour 1, and then your press, when you go to press, you're going to define the tool pressure from your UCJV330, or really any Mimaki printer. And I'm just going to make sure that these are taken, these settings are taken. That's great. So image edit tab, this job looks good to go. We're going to select our go button or execution. And this is going to send the job to the printer. Now you can slide this over so you can see this entire section. I always make this mistake. Here where it says execution order, this is print only. It just says print. So if you hit the start button here, if you press start, it's only going to print the job. It's not going to go back and contour cut it. So we're going to change that from print to print and cut. Print and cut. And then once we select start, the job is going to go over here and execute. That's how you set up the job in RasterLink. Now to print and cut for success, there's 3 steps. Step 1, define your cut line, either in Illustrator or CorelDRAW. Step 2, set your machine up. We set up the UCJV330. This will work for any Mimaki printer cutter or standalone cutter. Step 3, set up your job in RasterLink. That's how you're going to print and cut for success. These videos are all on YouTube at PG Sign Video.